Hi everyone. Sorry I've been away for quite a while. I think it's been like over 4 months since I hadn't been on last, and I was trying to finish up on the Planet X video, and I kind of got caught up with some other things. Actually, with the things that are going on, guys, and what I've been telling you, time is really getting short and it's running out, and there are some events, serious events that are about to take place on this year alone, and but I'm not saying that the Great Tribulation is going to happen this year. I don't know that. I know that we'll be getting a revelation from credible prophets. Well, I mean, credible that they actually are ordained by God to give these warnings out to people. And that's what I've been looking for. But the sign that I was looking for myself before I started listening more to what the voice of God was saying, there was an event that I found also, and I also want to bring up something about the blood moons too. And there was also an event that I got interested in, and my video was taken down because they claim copyright infringement, and that was the November 13th and 14th, 2012 video that I made on the total solar eclipse that occurred on that year over Cape Tribulation. That was the highest point of the total solar eclipse that occurred at Cape Tribulation, Northern Australia, and it was it could be seen in New Zealand and over Australia mostly. And I thought that was, to me, that God was telling me that the message was that His judgment was beginning. Now, Jesus had a 3.5-year ministry, as you all know, as most Christians know, and his ministry was cut short because of what he came to do the first time, and that was to be an atonement for our sin and to save us sinners from the corruption of sin. And so what I'm trying to get around it at is that this time we're under God's judgment. Now, the judgment starts at God's house, and so once that is ended and probation is ended, that means when the Lord, the Master, gets up and shuts the door, then that's it. From what I understand from others, no one else can be saved because they have plenty of time to do this, to repent of their sins, and because there will be so much confusion and so many things going on in the Great Tribulation, you never really will know how devastating that this tribulation is going to be. Most people are asleep, and only a remnant is going to be saved out of this, and there will be a remnant remaining. Now, those that die, that go on and die, that are in the Lord, they will be with the Lord. And I don't want to get that, confused, any confusion there, because not everyone's going to live. I'm not sure that we'll all be here. Even though I won't be here or not. I'm just saying that there will be a remnant saved, because Satan, if he had his way about it, he would want to destroy every living thing on the planet, and he wants to make God a liar. So we know that God is not a liar, and He's going to prove that, and He's going to destroy the devil with the brightness of His coming when He comes immediately after the tribulation. So I'm going to get into more of that. The things that I want to talk about. Now, if I don't answer you all in regards to your comments on my videos, don't be alarmed or don't get mad if you expect an answer back, because I can't. When I last signed on to YouTube, something happened, and every time that I tried to comment or answer anyone, YouTube gives me this strange message or something that I have to sign it into another name or something like that. And when I try, it does the same thing. So I don't know if they just have me blocked out. They just, won't notify you or anything, which I think that's YouTube for you. But I think it's just best that it's just this way that I go ahead and get out this important information and try to answer as much as I can, which I'm not a very good source. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth about it. The best source is to go to to Jesus in prayer, and follow a credible person. Well, I might say, now there's a fellow by the name of Brother Stair, and I know he has gotten a lot of flack from a lot of people, but I think that he's very credible in what he says, because I think that he's God's prophet. And there's many prophets, but there's also false prophets, so you have to be very careful about who you listen to there. But this, what I have here about the Ebola, now that Fox News, I'm just letting you know that Fox News is, that they don't put out the truth, they don't have any truthful news, period. And I don't even watch them. I don't watch any news on TV. I find out my news in some way, or just look into it further on what they're trying to tell us. Most of this is like a bunch of propaganda, just to sell you out on the medical profession, and you need to get away from the medical profession, because that's more poison than trying to find some of these natural cures, which the Lord had created. He created every herb for the service of man. What they're saying here is that they have a warning on a phony Ebola cure, and what they're talking about here are essential oils. What they're saying that the Ebola virus cannot survive in the presence of a therapeutic grade cinnamon bark and oregano essential oil, and these oils can be diffused or diluted with a carrier oil, and so on and so forth, which you can apply, they say, on the bottom of your feet. But what they're saying is that they don't want people taking these natural supplements, and they're trying to come up with a vaccine, which they claim there is no vaccine for that. And I want to warn you about vaccines. Under any circumstances, do not take the vaccines, any vaccines, because actually they're more detrimental to your health than anything. And it's best to take a natural source that can combat this virus, or any virus. And their plot is to pass laws to where you can be able to get these, except like maybe through a doctor, and the doctor probably may not subscribe them. So either you can grow your own herbs, like basil, oregano, have you like a little herb garden, along with your little fruit vegetable garden, and that's it. Because when you got people here like the CDC, Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, they don't help people at all. As a matter of fact, they just let you die. And the same way with the FDA mainstream media denounces nano silver as a bogus cure for Ebola virus. And this is a good news source. I like this. It's called Natural News. And if you're not familiar with them, check them out at naturalnews.com. I don't mean to sound like a commercial, but this is pretty good. And so when we know what the FDA is, because they're connected with the government, and it is a government scam about Ebola, since they've kind of like went underground with this, just swept it under the rug, you know that is a scam. And this is one of the scams. I just want to let you all know that. There's also some other news, like I mentioned, that there is going to be coming a war. There is going to be a war. Let's see, I'm going to start out with this one. With the enemies. Actually, there is a lot of the leaders in the government plotting to bring in their new world order. This is all what it's about. And it also mentioned in the Bible that Russia is the feet of the bear of the beast in Revelation, which will stamp out the residue, which means that Russia will weaken the United States and other countries to bring it into the New World Order. And actually, Russia will turn out to be a non-entity as well in the New World Order. And this news article from Dark Government, that 2 Russian bombers intercepted near the U.S. West Coast, only 50 miles away. And I also want to mention too, because I've talked about the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, okay, and what all was behind that. Well, there was also, they claim that they have technology now. The Russians have technology with the submarines that they have, that they're not detectable by radar, by U.S. radar, but they said that some have been spotted around the Gulf of Mexico, and you just wonder, well, what are they doing in the Gulf of Mexico? And they also have technological weapons of EMPs. Now, an EMP can take out a U.S. grid system and nothing flat, more devastating than nuclear weapons. And I also wanted to bring up in another video in regards to nuclear proliferation, and also that word was given to me, and I know for a fact that the Lord is going to destroy the nations in major cities, not just in America, I had mentioned that earlier, but around the world. And the world will be engulfed in many wars, as you recall the wars and rumors of wars. And so it will be devastating, and there will be billions who will die, and there was also a great many that will perish in the Middle East, because it also mentions there that most nations will come against Israel. It will be a troublesome stone in the end times. Everyone that supports Israel, God warned that they will be destroyed, they will perish even if they support Israel, because this is not the Israel that he has. This is what you call like a natural Israel, and not the Israel that he has prepared, because this Israel is corrupt. The Lord calls Jerusalem Sodom and Egypt. So you know how wicked that this nation is, and it was because of the plot to bring in Israel into the Middle East has started all these problems, and that goes into depth also, because I am close to the end of this video, and I want to continue on because I almost want to finish off Planet X, and because the New World Order knows about them, are not telling us. So there's a lot of events. There could be one major event that will take all of us down. Like I said, there'll be nuclear war, EMP, could be Planet X, and could be some type of economic crash, and maybe like Ebola that could bring them down. Also, anything major. So here's towards the end. So talk to y'all later. God bless y'all. Bye.